Good morning, I'm Lori Cummings. I'm the owner of Stone Cottage Farm and Garden, and today we're going to be cooking with kale, and this recipe is a sauteed vegetable with kale. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to heat up the pan so that I add the olive oil. It will not stick. Just a little bit of olive oil in the bottom. And I'm going to use zucchini and summer squash in this one, along with Swiss chard and kale and a few other things. I'm going to start just by, I've sliced up the zucchini very thin, and I'm going to arrange these almost like putting pepperoni on a pizza. We're using kale in this recipe because kale is such a good superfood. We've been hearing a lot about the foods that are best for you, and kale is certainly one of those foods. It's very high in vitamin K, vitamin A, and vitamin C. It's an excellent cancer preventive, high in fiber, and it also is a complete protein, so it contains all the amino acids that are essential for your body. You get these spread around, just kind of mix up. I like to use different colors, that's why I'm using both of these. They don't really taste that much different, but got these going. Now before I put the whole amount on there, I'm actually going to chop up some garlic. Just turn the heat down a little bit. I'm going to cut up some garlic and get that in there. And the kitchen is going to smell wonderful. Sometimes in the garlic you see a little green center, and you should remove that. It's just the start of the garlic to growing, and it's a little bit bitter, so we'll just cut that out. Let's chop it up nice and fine. If I put the garlic right on the bottom, it could burn, so as long as this is in here, I don't want the garlic to burn. If it turns brown a little bit, that's fine, but I don't want it to burn. Add some more of these. It'll take a few minutes for these to cook down. I can start to smell the garlic now with the olive oil. Okay, so while those are cooking, I'm going to chop up the vegetables that are going in here. And so I'm going to be chopping up Swiss chard, and this is a rainbow Swiss chard. And I'm going to dry it off a little bit more. Don't be afraid to wash your vegetables really, really well when you get ready to eat them. The zucchini, for example, I washed with soap and water. And these you can use a soap solution and swish around. Just make sure you dry them well before you put them in so they don't spatter so much. One thing you can do with the Swiss chard is there's a stem at the end, sometimes it's wider than others. You can chop that up almost like celery and put that in kind of early because that's going to take a little bit longer to cook. So I'm just going to chop that part up. And it doesn't hurt to have a little crunchiness in there anyway if it doesn't get all the way cooked. In just a few minutes I'll flip it over. And we'll cut one more Swiss chard. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll this up like a cigar. And then just chop it like that. Continue to keep it tightly rolled. And it's really rather easy to cut. Okay, that one is ready. And same thing with the kale. The kale is going to go in almost last. This you can chop up, or I'm going to save that for the chickens. I have chickens and they love to have that. When you're giving chickens scraps from your vegetables, just don't give them potato peelings. That's something we don't want the chickens to have. Okay, I think it's time to turn these over. I've added many things from the garden into this recipe. I've added sliced thin green beans, peas in the pod, lots of things like that are really good. So, okay, we're ready to add. I'm going to add the chard first, because it still has some of that stem in it. Just give that a little stir, let that begin to wilt. And then the kale. This actually is very good over pasta, or you can eat it just as it is. A lot of times if I have extra eggs, I'll just break an egg over top of this when it's almost done and scramble it in all together. You can move this aside, break open the egg right here, and cook the egg right along with it and then serve it on top. Very, very good. A little Romano cheese at the end is also very good to use. And that's the sauteed kale.